So today's been a really awesome day for me personally. I've been able to get all of my stuff done, which has been great because I've actually been sick for the past 6 or 7 days, which you can probably still hear in my voice because it's taking a long time to get over that, which really sucks because Washington State is oh, we're opened up again. And then immediately I got sick. And so I'm just going to keep the mask forever. Not the point of my day being productive, but it made me feel good that I had a productive day today because I haven't been having one of those guys for quite a while I've been sick. And so I got the house cleaned and I did the laundry and I did the mowing and all of the things, right? But there was just this little thing in my mind the whole time going, you're forgetting something. You are forgetting something. You are forgetting something. And I'm going, nah, I'm totally not forgetting anything. I'm good. And I settle down to play my Animal Crossing because I'm absolutely not forgetting anything. This is all awesome. I am good to go for sure. And then I realized that I forgot this, literally this right here with you doing this thing for the video that's already done, right? I already made the other part, but I didn't do this part. And so I'm here with you right now in some kind of way to do that thing. But the good news is, as soon as I'm done with this thing, I am done for the day. Everything will be off of my checklist today. And I'm in love with that a lot, for sure. Has nothing whatsoever to do with the video, but you're not new here, most likely. And so you know how this whole thing goes. This part right here is kind of for me to chat and catch up with you. Yes, I will tell you all about the video and what we are making today in just a moment. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 62 of 365 days of soap. Still year 2. And today we are doing new lotion bars. Now, this is normally a theme day, right? But we just finished up a theme, which was awesome. And we also needed to get the new lotion bars out. So I guess that's kind of a theme in and of itself because every couple months we drop new seasonal scents for our lotion bars and our whipped sugar soap scrubs and on and on and on. But in doing this, I also wanted to address questions that I get quite a bit in my other lotion bar videos, be they a recipe day or not. And those questions really do tend to circle around whether or not you can substitute oils or any of the things within a lotion bar. And so today I thought it'd be fun to show you a properly made batch with all of the proper ingredients in their respective quantities, and then show you what happens when you sub out one of these ingredients for something else for funsies. Is really why we're doing this, but also to answer some questions. So let's go to the video. The Soapprentice will be making some lotion bars so we can chat about the formulation, the ingredients, and why these ingredients in these quantities are pretty important for a successful solid lotion bar. So I realized when we had to get the new lotion bars out, the new line, that we hadn't actually done a lotion bar video. Wow, words are so complicated today. Right, video on the channel for year 2. So that's what we're doing today. Now, this is not a recipe day because today's not that day. So, for those of you in my comments saying, cool, I want the recipe. I don't do that every day, guys. This is 365 days of content, and I like to do other things other than just recipes. But, the reason that these videos are important and fun is because they hopefully equip you with the knowledge that you need to formulate your own recipes or modify a recipe that I have given you or that you get from anywhere to that. So you don't have to ask the question, hey, can I sub X oil for Y oil, right? So today we're going to talk about recipe formulations for a lotion bar, for a solid lotion. Now, I love our recipe for solid lotion because it's very firm, but it can melt easily on the skin while also withstanding the heat from being shipped, right? Now, our recipe is 6 parts of a medium butter, a medium hard butter. So we're talking about your shays, your avocados, your mangoes, okay? And then 4 parts of a wax, a beeswax, a candelilla wax. I'm not 100% sure on carnauba wax. I've never messed with that before. I honestly thought that was just for cars. So I don't know. I did get a question about that recently, though, and the answer is I don't know. And 2 ounces of a very, very hard wax, or butter. 2 ounces of a hard butter, like cocoa. And then 10 ounces, 10 parts of oils. Lightweight oils, medium weight oils, heavyweight oils, deep penetrating, fast penetrating, slow penetrating. All the levels of penetration. Oils. Yeah. And so that's the basic formulation of a lotion bar, of our lotion bars. Now, with that, I always get people asking, well, can I sub thus for thus? And so, that is what we are going to talk about in today's video. So now, once all of the sort of medium hard butters and waxes and oils have been combined and melted down, and I do like to hold it at heat for around 20 minutes, especially if you have shea in it, we then add the rest of the stuff. Now, the rest of the stuff for us is an extract of some sort. It's a dealer's choice as to what you want your lotion bar to do, really. And I do pretty healthy amounts of arrowroot powder in this. Now, you can sub other things out for arrowroot. You can do tapioca. You could do cornstarch. Shit, you could even do diatomaceous earth if you wanted to. That's fine. The point of the arrowroot is to wick away the excess moisture so you're not left feeling sticky or greasy, which is an important part to have in a lotion bar for sure, because this is not a diluted product. Therefore, that moisture is going to sit on your skin a little bit longer, which is great, super hydrating, but you don't want to feel greasy. You want to be able to, open a door handle afterwards, right? Makes all the sense in the world. Now, once all that gets mixed together really nicely, you put your scent in, do your thing, whatever, then you pour it into whatever molds you would like, and you let it firm up. Now, you can let it firm up on the counter, or you can let it firm up in the fridge, whatever you would like. However quick, if you need to get your molds back faster, you can totally stick them in the freezer so they firm up faster. Have not found that there's been any graininess problems with that. So yeah, do your thing, go off, have fun. But again, we always come back to, well, can I sub thus for thus? And the most recent and commonly asked question I have received regarding lotion bars has been, can I substitute beeswax for a firm butter? So we decided to do that. So this is the recipe all proper right? With your 6 parts of your shea, your 4 parts of your wax, your 2 parts of your hard butter, and your 10 ounces of your liquid oils. Because people have asked me all kinds of things. Can I substitute coconut oil for beeswax? Can I substitute shea butter for beeswax? And so this is the good recipe. And then we're going to go ahead and make another one wherein we are going to take those 4 parts wax, candelilla wax, beeswax. Again, I'm not sure on carnauba wax. I have not worked with it. And we are going to, instead of using a wax, we are going to use equal parts shea butter and cocoa butter in this and, see what happens to the finished product. Okay, now here is the next recipe. Again, same recipe, just without a wax. So instead of doing the 4 parts of a wax, we are going to be making 2 parts, adding 2 parts of a shea butter, which is, a medium hard butter, and 2 parts of a cocoa butter, which is a hard butter, and see what happens. Now, as an answer to all of this, just right off the bat, it's not a good idea to ever exclude anything anything that calls for a wax. You should use the wax. And so this goes for things like not only lotion bars, but also, lip balms. For sure. Emulsifying waxes and liquid lotion. Yeah, absolutely. Anything that says, hey, you need a wax, you should use a wax. And the reason for that is because the wax is what's going to actually bind to all of your oils and butters and firm it up, which is, important when you're trying to sell or make a solid product. And wax is the thing that makes it solid. So subbing out something like a coconut oil or a shea butter or a mango butter or an avocado butter or even a cocoa butter when in a recipe wherein wax is required is not a good idea. And you're going to see why, in this video. Now, actually, we did this for 2 reasons. One, I actually knew that, this is a terrible idea, but we needed to make more lotion bars. And I thought, hey, you know what? I haven't actually tried doing any weird substitutions with oils and butters and waxes in my solid lotion bars in a while. So let's go ahead and do it and film it and show you just how off this is. And then, worst case scenario, by the time they are supposed to firm up, my beeswax will be in, or my candelilla wax. I was out of all waxes, guys. There were no waxes to be had. And, we can fix it. Now, that's the good news of all of this. You can fix it, especially since you are working with parts, which is, when we're talking about recipes or whatever, particularly in year 1, I gave you guys a crap ton of recipes using just percentages and or parts. And that's why you definitely need to work with parts as opposed to just having, use 4 ounces of this and 2 ounces of this and, whatever. Because, again, we subbed out the 4 ounces of the wax with this, with 2 extra parts of shea and 2 extra parts of cocoa butter. So we now know how much of everything else we need to put in to keep those ratios working right. Right? Makes sense? Kind of doesn't make sense. Sorry. I'm dying today. I'm super duper hot. My brain is not working. But anyway, so this is the heated oils and butters and all together that are being poured just like the last one. And it's all good. It's the same process. Let it sit out on the counter. Put it in the freezer, whatever your preference is, for sure. But so Prentice did this, and then I came in today, and I was met with, what you're going to see, now, if it ever gets to that in the video here. Having problems with words today. So this is what this looked like after sitting for 12 hours. It's still completely fluid. That's why we don't sub out. If a recipe calls for a wax, you put that wax in. Or a wax. The butters are not a good substitution for a wax. Best case scenario, you could get away with subbing a stearic acid in place of a wax, for sure, which is actually what I'm going to end up doing in this, but I have to adjust some ratios with everything anyway in order to, fix this. But again, it's totally fixable. So it's not the end of the world. It's just having a nice steady hand so you can pour it all back into a container and adding the parts that are missing in order to make this a batch that actually, makes some kind of sense. So this is why when you start asking for substitutions, if you can sub this for that, you need to go back to fatty acid profiles and your knowledge base of what certain oils do. In this particular case, this is what a certain oil does in a cosmetic, right? In a lotion, in a leave-on product, as opposed to a soap, because the fatty acids do change within, saponification, and there is no saponification going on with this. But the beeswax is essentially acting as the emulsifying agent-ish with this. It's the binder. There's not a proper emulsification that a lotion bar really goes through, which is one of the few products that you can actually say that about when you're working with oils, right? Because lotion definitely goes through an emulsification, liquid lotion, and soap obviously does as well. This is not really one of those, but the beeswax is critical for its binding properties. Now, in my experience with subbing out a wax, a beeswax, a candelilla wax, with anything else, it has not worked. Cocoa butter does not work. Coconut oil does not work. Shea butter does not work. Cocoa butter does not work. Soy wax, interestingly, also does not work. And actually, that's not that interesting because soy wax actually has a much lower melt point than beeswax. And so therefore, it's not going to be a great binder to a whole bunch of oils and butters that also have a similar melt point. So again, if you make a mistake on your lotion bars and you find that they have not set up, the best thing to do is to pour them all back into your container and add the stuff that's missing. And so, to this, I will be adding we still got sparklies from the mica. Like, this was just a big old mess, right? Just a big old mess. But I will be adding more cocoa butter, more liquid oil, as well as the appropriate amount of beeswax. I'm going to go ahead and reheat those, remelt them, hold them at heat again, and then pour them again. And, make sure they're all firm and awesome. And that is cool. It's one of the few products. Well, it's not really one of the few products. There are a lot of products that you can fix when you are, doing this whole soap and body care, whatever world. But this one is a very easy fix. And so if you ever find that your lotion bars aren't setting up, I hope you didn't sub out, I hope you didn't just forgo your wax. But 2, melt it down and try it again. It's really not the end of the world. It's an easy fix for sure. And this is what they look like when they're all properly done with the appropriate wax added to make sure they're nice and firm, which is awesome. And that is day 62. The new lotion bars for the new season. I have no idea what scents they are right now, but they're all on the website. So, go check those out, whatever. And yeah, when trying to sub out oils, make sure you know the fatty acid profiles so you can do that. And that's, the big lesson for today. And there you have it, the solid lotion bars. And yeah, so when you try to sub out your wax, be it a beeswax or a candelilla wax or any wax, really, interestingly, you can also make lotion bars with an emulsifying wax. So keep that in mind. I didn't show you that, but it's totally possible in those same quantities. Anyway, when you try to remove the wax and replace it with a hard butter, it's not really going to work. The wax is really the binding agent that's really going to pull all of these oils and butters, be they a soft butter or a hard butter, together to make sure that you have a fully formed, functional lotion bar that's not going to weirdly melt if your house hits 70 degrees or 80 degrees. Granted, a few weeks ago when it was 95 degrees in the inside of my house, my liquid lotions melted. My solid lotions actually stayed together, but I thought for sure they were going to melt. So, if it gets too hot, it could still happen. But that beeswax or the candelilla wax or, an e-wax, very, very important in formulating a solid lotion bar. Now, for the rest of the things, the shea butter, you can sub that. Mango butter, avocado butter, all the butters for sure. All of the oils. You have unlimited possibilities for the types of oils that you can put into a lotion bar. You just want to pay attention to what these oils actually do topically, right? And their level of penetration. So if you have something that penetrates really quickly, like an apricot, you probably want to pair that with something like an avocado that has a longer penetration, and so it's going to go deeper and be more moisturizing. That apricot is going to help pull that avocado oil into the skin better, so it's not left feeling greasy on your hands. Make sense? Cool. Now that actually does it for me today, you guys. I really do appreciate you being with me for another round of 365 days of soap. If you have any questions on recipe formulations, always shoot them my way and I can answer them directly right away in DM, or I can, do a whole last video on them if needed. So today was one of those where it had been asked enough that it was needed. I appreciate all of my sudsers that are subscribed. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Like every day. Thank you. My heart. Yes. And I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.